Tools is brought to you by EXO AutoWorks. EXO AutoWorks is Colorado Springs' home of the $40 synthetic blend oil change. Call now, 719-375-3232, or visit exoautoworks.com to make your appointment. Enharmonic Studios. Enharmonic Studios is a hybrid digital analog facility designed to be quality and affordable to anyone who wants to make history. Call today, 719-963-2020, or go to facebook.com/Enharmonic Studios. Trevor's Beard is brought to you by The Beard Struggle. The Beard Struggle is my go-to for beard hygiene and styling products, so you should click the link below and use the code TLANE15, that's TLANE15, for 15% off your order. Madrid Maintenance. Madrid Maintenance offers excellent handyman services in the Colorado Springs area, starting at just $35 an hour. You can reach them by phone at 719-963-2020 or online at facebook.com/Madrid Maintenance. The Tool Bar, our new line of handmade soap produced in partnership with Crafts by Carolyn Lane, available on Etsy. This soap packs a punch of manly scent, like oak and fig, fresh-cut lumber, cedar, and more masculine fragrances being developed all the time. With the soft touch of natural oils to cleanse and moisturize, use the link below to buy the Tool Bar now. Once you try it, you'll never want to wash with anything else.
Ma?
Yeah, puppy?
Do we have a cat?
No, why would you say we have a cat?
Because Dad last night was saying, oh, I'm going to beat that kitty, baby. Why would Dad even want to hurt a cat?
From EXO AutoWorks. Streaming all over the world. It's your weekly dose of toxic masculinity. With Eric Madrid.
Because if too many people are just running around with their dicks out, it's called the Harambe variant.
And Trevor Lane.
No. To Karen's.
It's Man Tools.
I honestly think that's the best part of our whole show.
The intro?
The intro is the best part of the whole show. The outro, that's the best. When it's over. What's the best part? Sound like the two old Muppets. You're the best part of Man Tools!
When it's over.
Ah! Those guys are my favorite. They were the best part of that whole show.
They were awesome.
She's a small actress. Getting smaller all the time. So yeah, it's welcome to Man Tools.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. We've already got our mob crush in there, waiting for our Russian connection in the chat room. If you guys want to get a hold of us, just jump over to the chat on the mob crush and weigh in on what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be super fun.
Yeah.
Did we do this last week?
We did. We talked to the DB Cooper guy.
We had the DB Cooper. God, it feels like a year ago.
Darren.
Well, you know how many hours a week when you're self-employed that you work? All of them.
I was going to say as many as it takes.
All of them. I did quotes and estimates on Monday, and it was Tuesday afternoon. I was like, oh my God, I got to get after that because it's been a week. No, it's only been a day. And sprinkler season's about to hit.
Yes. In fact, Carolyn wanted me to ask you about that.
Yeah. So after the 1st.
Okay.
Possibly next week sometime. But I'm looking at the temperature. Remember that guy from
KRDO?
Temperatures. Anyway, they're dipping to the 30s.
again
in the next couple of days. So that would just be like the suckiest thing ever.
Yeah,
and I've had to deal with it on numerous years where it's like, no, I want to get started. I'm like, it's gonna cold snap again.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that water under pressure freezes faster than
Right.
water just sitting there. So your guys' house isn't super bad because you're on that south sort of west facing corner.
Backyard faces south. The
Yeah.
front yard sucks because it faces north.
Right. So, but your backflow preventer is in the sun in the afternoon. So we could probably nail that. But my buddy Matt, he's like all function at the bit, and it's on the northeast side of the house. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to freeze. No, it'll be fine. Hey, bro, how many years have I come out after you tried to turn it on early in the last 10 and it's broke? 4 out of the last 10?
Okay.
Yeah, so let's not break it again. Because it just sits in the shade all day.
Yep.
All day. All night, all day.
That's what my driveway does.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same facing, yeah.
Sucks.
So imagine your where your garage doors is where his backyard and backflow preventer sits.
That is not a good spot.
No, but it is what it is. Fun fact though, his place, whoever did the plumbing, had either a lot of cocaine that day or is super OCD. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like the stuff you see in those reels.
You could wrap that backflow with that trailer park shit.
Yeah.
Keeps the exposed pipes from freezing.
I mean, let's be real. The R factor at 0 degrees Celsius, right? 30 something. What's going to get down to this weekend?
Oh, I haven't looked. I don't know.
Yeah, the R factor on that, and then pressure drops that. So it's like, it's not worth the risk. And they're ugly. They kind of work and they kind of don't. I mean, I guess wearing a hoodie when it's freezing out helps a little bit.
Right. It's better than wearing just your t-shirt, but you're still cold.
You still have the possibility of frostbite. That's what I akin it to. People are like, can I put these on and keep it running all year? Yeah, you wear a long sleeve shirt in a blizzard, but
you don't want to.
That's not going to help.
Yeah. Yep.
Good times. Fun show. This is best.
Well, have you heard about Disney?
I've heard all kinds of stuff about Disney.
It's bonkers, man.
But I don't know what's happening.
So I guess they've been up in arms about the, as they call it, don't say gay, even though it doesn't say that anywhere in the bill. In Florida, basically the bill that they're upset about prevents teachers from talking about sex and gender identity with K through 3.
Yes, I understand the law.
Yep. Okay.
In other words, like when we were kids, you don't get sex ed until you're in middle school.
Right.
Like it's not even a non-issue.
Yep.
Because you don't sexualize.
Tootsie Roll starting human reproduction.
Right.
Now.
Human reproduction.
She's at the end of 5th grade.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't sexualize children.
Yes.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Well, Disney does what now?
So Disney got all up in arms about that. And in return, Florida decided, well, we passed all these laws that basically exempt you from a bunch of taxes and regulations that everyone else has to follow. I think we're going to repeal that.
Yeah, because if you're trying,
which is nuts, because here's one of the, I think, unforeseen things that comes from that. I don't think they're subject to Florida building codes, which means the whole park could be condemned.
Yeah. Don't fuck with Florida right now. Just don't do it. They have a lot of clout. For a corporation to come out publicly after, for a law, for things that are being passed, and to come out afterwards and say they're actively going to try to repeal it as a corporation, that has nothing to do with, let me just put this, I don't see the connection of teaching kids about, like little kids, about sex stuff, how that helps Disney get more kids into parents bringing them to the park and spending shit tons of money.
It's to pander to like a very small group of employees that were upset.
So pedophilia.
Yeah.
Pedophiles. Okay. Yep. Let's just go. Trust me on this. Pedophiles.
Oh, and by the way, Disney employees keep getting busted for that.
I was going to, yeah. Well, their defense attorney, here's the thing. They're saying that it's not exactly pedophilia because pedophiles prey on or have a sexual proclivity towards legally human beings between like a year old and like 6 years old. Heterophilia is between 6 and like 12, and there's something else is like it's like adolescent, like metalophilia.
Sure.
So you're teenagers, young girls,
right,
to 18 to 25. It's just nobody wants to hear those things, hear those words and that terminology, and the reason is because you sound like a pedophile when you try to justify that shit.
Yeah. The only thing
coming off like a perv.
The only thing worse is to use the word maps.
No, like Google Maps.
Yeah, Google Maps. There's probably plenty of them there too, but
but you get the joke, right? Like you can't talk. They're trying to justify this shit, and all I hear is, I want to fuck young girls.
Well, and then their stock started taking a huge dip because I don't know if it was a Zoom call. Somehow there was something where one of their executives was bragging about how they really want to start exploring sex and gender stuff with their kid-focused programs and movies. For example, if I'm not mistaken, I think the new Buzz Lightyear movie, if it doesn't explicitly come out and say that he's in a gay relationship, it implies it very heavily.
I mean, we all figured Buzz was, Captain Commando or whatever you want. I was like, well, yeah, well.
So I don't know.
What's up, Keys?
But now I guess
you missed the whole bunch of fun stuff.
I guess our illustrious governor here was like, "Hey, Disney, Colorado's cool, but it's like, okay, we have shit winners.
Yeah, there's no way in
the
hell.
The only international airport here is in Denver.
Well, you know where they're going to stick
gonna build in
East
Denver?
Colfax.
Well, okay, I guess
They'll kick all those people out and gentrify that so you can have a Disneyland right next to the airport.
But he's basically saying we want to offer you everything that Florida offered you in the 60s when you first came there.
Yeah.
The whole exemption from the tax and regulation stuff that you're currently enjoying that might go away. We'll give you that.
No.
And then
fucking Polis.
Dude. Dumb tweet of the day was somebody was like, move to Atlanta. Y'all were upset last year in Atlanta for the you have to show ID to vote. And they moved the All-Star game to Denver because of that.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened to boycotting Atlanta because they're depriving people of voting rights? Jesus. So
I don't know. I mean, they'll probably move to Colorado because we screwed New Jersey out of Amazon.
Oh yeah,
we totally did. We screwed them. We were like, we're going to start building a better highway system to get from Denver to Colorado Springs. And nobody believed me. Nobody. And I was like, no, Amazon's coming. They're like, no, they're just widening I-25 for it. I'm like, no. It's going to be in New Jersey. I'm watching them break ground. I'm like, this is too big. Right next to our little piddly-ass airport.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, this is too big. This is too big of a thing. It's not a subdivision. It's not zoned right. I already know. So yeah, we screwed them out of that. We'll probably screw Florida out of Disney. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, Disney stock probably tanked, right?
It's been tanking since the executive lady was like, I want to put even more sex and gender stuff into our programming. People started dumping shares.
Look, make it funny. Make it relatable. Like everybody's got an Uncle Frank somewhere. You know what I mean? Just make it not a thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Don't get preachy because be like MASH. It'll just, people stop watching it.
Well, and like the misconceptions about the Florida law to begin with.
Oh yeah, they
like,
don't say gay.
That means I can't say I'm married to another man.
No,
it's like,
dude,
no, you just can't say. You can't expound on it. Yes, you can say like if they see a picture of him, that's my husband.
That's my husband. Done. Don't
That's
make a deal of it. You do not.
You can't go. That's my husband who I fuck in the ass.
You don't get to go into the entire details of the relationship, especially on a sexual level, with a kindergartner.
And you don't get to come out to your students, because that never should have been a thing.
No, that should not have been a thing. There should be that wall. I mean, obviously, teachers and students have a rapport, and they have to have a working relationship. But so do I with my clients, and I do not go and tell them all of my sexual proclivities. It's none of their business.
Yeah,
we're there to do a job, or we're there to discuss this, or it's not a thing.
Yep. Well,
we need to educate our children in the ways of what? Like, let them grow up first, and maybe have parents take some responsibility on some things.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. What's so hard about that? Oh, you're married to a man? What's up with that? Ask your mom.
Ask your mom. You don't
ask your parents about that.
You don't need to have the flags in the classroom you don't need to fly your flag. It's a public school. It should be quasi-neutral.
Yeah, as much as you can, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, quasi-neutral.
Yep.
You're not going to hang a swastika up in the classroom right next to a Union Jack, right next to a rainbow flag. Right next to you're gonna hang those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna fly your freak flag should get flown
at home,
away from work.
Yeah, there you go.
Away from work.
Well,
I only got 4 years 12 years to indoctrinate these kids into
turn
social
them into
warriors.
What did he call them? Not activists. What was he calling them?
No, he said what did he? Yeah, something terrorists.
No, it wasn't quite that harsh, I don't think.
It's pretty much.
Yeah, but it was like,
it was social.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was a great news story. We should go over that again, see where that landed. Speaking of news stories, I'm sure we got a couple of goodies.
We do. Some near and dear to your heart. So we'll get into it. We missed it last week, so.
Well, we had a great show last week.
We did. It was awesome. I would have definitely rather have talked to Darren from the Cooper Vortex podcast than.
Best numbers of the year so far.
I don't know about that. I haven't crunched them, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
He was a good guest.
It's a good show if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely check it out. All right. Well, we'll get into some news here. And go.
And pause.
There it goes. All right. We're starting with some local news right here from KKTV, I think.
Yeah.
But this is a story that you probably have some inside information on.
Oh boy, do I.
So
Fire restoration companies may
KOAA,
show up unexpectedly on one of the worst days of your life. A Colorado Springs family says shortly after their home caught fire, a company called Statewide Restoration appeared on their doorstep with a promise to help. But more than a year and a half later, the family says they're still waiting on the company to finish the job. Tonight, we're investigating what went wrong and what you need to consider before signing over your insurance money.
This closet is where most of the smoke damage and the smoke came up through, and I can still smell faint smoke damage still in here.
Brian Zimkus says that smell has hung around for more than a year and a half. In June 2020, his Colorado Springs home caught fire.
We'll talk about that in a second.
He and his family were sleeping.
From what the firefighter said, we were a minute from losing the entire house.
The fire was ruled an accident. The Colorado Springs Fire Department says
Yep.
it may
He
have
threw
started
That's
from
not quite an
smoldering
accident, but
cigarettes
okay.
in a trash can. That same day, Zimkus says a company called Statewide Restoration.
Okay, notice those
showed up
cabinets
ready
are
to
still
help.
in great
They
shape.
showed up.
right.
Great shape. Just saying.
They were here. They were adamant about getting stuff done. They had this, beautiful book and all these pictures. They're boarding up the side of the house. They're doing everything
I did all those
want
appliances
somebody to do when you're in a bad
and the cabinets.
like that.
Zimkus says he put his trust in statewide restoration that they would get the job done right.
So there was some very big structural damage. The attic above the garage had to be removed and replaced, all the trusses. Lots of smoke damage traveled up in between the sheetrock and the walls up into the attic.
But more than a year and a half after statewide restoration showed up, Zimkus believes that sheetrock and the attic insulation was never replaced. And here's his explanation on why.
This is a piece of sheetrock that was supposedly replaced
Supposedly.
at the time that they first started replacing sheetrock. Burned insulation that I could obviously smell.
Yep, and that's the stuff we took out.
Since I've called.
Yeah.
No,
this
since
has all been pulled out since you
before
As
she
a
called.
precaution,
Before. So notice the brand new cabinets, they're different, and that whole back wall got replaced.
to protect the rest of his insurance money, he says he stopped payment to the company as more problems came up. That's when News 5 Investigates learned statewide restoration put a $55,000 plus mechanics lien on the house.
True.
They say they put the lien because you didn't pay them.
Correct.
Pause.
But
When you are working with your insurance and a third-party restoration company, when the money gets released, it does not get released until the mortgage inspector, as well as the city inspectors, come in, do their inspections, and say you're up to a certain point. Percentage done.
Okay.
So at 80% done, they will release that like big chunk. They'll release a little chunk at 10, a little chunk at 50, a big fat chunk at 80, and then hold on to a chunk until you're done and finals and everything. Right?
Right.
So if he had that money in his escrow, that means up to that point that was been inspected and released by not only the inspections passed from the city or regional building and the inspections passed from the mortgage company who holds that money in escrow.
And they're not going to want a smoke damaged house.
They waited until after all that was fixed that he's bitching about right now before they released that 55. And then the homeowner is supposed to release it to the contractors who fixed it.
Yeah.
Now there's more money coming. So when you don't get paid on the stuff you've done up to that point, then you stop work, then you wait 2 months, then you put a lien on the house, mechanics lien, and then magically somebody paid because then work started again. So half truths all around. All right, spin on. Just know that you don't get that money. You can't bill until you're done. And then the mortgage releases that money. So if he had a check in his hand, what had to have happened? The mortgage, work had to have been done, and up to a certain point, and the mortgage released the funds.
Yeah, even for like a small, like when I had that hail damage on my roof, it was okay. Here's how did they put it? It was like you got a certain amount of money to do the job, and then they gave you more money because now it was new.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you get your start money.
Yeah.
So on any loss, you get your start money.
The deal was once you prove that you got it done. Now they didn't do inspections in the whole bit. Nope. They just wanted to see receipts. But I'm sure in something like this, it's a little more
because in El Paso, like a roof or a siding job, you can be the general contractor as the homeowner if you own the home. Sure. So you deal with the insurance adjuster and the mortgage inspections. Whoever your loan is with.
Yeah.
So they won't release it until this guy comes out. You got to get the work done to get this guy to come out, and then he says it's cool. Then they give you the money, and then you send it off to the guy who did your roof.
Right, yeah. And then there was some stuff
it's
where
hard to defraud insurance. It's hard.
Well, yeah, and then in my case, there was some stuff where I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So I didn't get the rest of the money.
You didn't get the money on that, yeah. They didn't paint my gutters or replace my gutters when... so I was going to be short like $4,000, and I told them, well, I'll paint them. They're like, cool, we'll give you $2,000. So then I called the roofer, said, dude, I'm going to paint my own gutters, and they're going to give me two to cover the depreciation. They give me two. So I painted my own gutters and sealed them and did all that shit. Showed it. He comes out. Yep, looks good. Gives me $2,000. I give him the $2,000. We're done.
Yeah.
The work has to get done before they pay out. Now, if you don't have that money, you cash that check. Some insurance companies put it in an escrow account. Some less reputable ones that you can get for Classic Homes or some of those other places, they'll just give the homeowner the check, and then it's up to you to pay the contractor.
Right.
And if you don't, guess what happens? Or if you spend it on a new truck, maybe. You want to rewind the clip?
The car.
If you want to spend it on a new truck, maybe, or you pay off your credit card bills or something with that money, you don't pay your contractor. The contractor can then lien your house too because you didn't get paid. Just saying. I'm talking hypothetical here.
All right, there.
I'm just totally hypothetical situation.
You mean hypothetically something like that? Something like this?
Hypothetically, if you detailed out a piece of shit old Ford, you might, and you didn't pay your contractors, you might get a lien on your house. Hypothetically speaking,
here's the other thing too. Even for a minor claim like mine, if I didn't fix that roof, the next time I tried to claim roof damage, they'd be like, "Nope,
you don't get anything.
No, we paid you for a new roof, and you never fixed it. So
yeah,
good luck.
Good luck." And then they'll drop you. You got to go find somebody else. So yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to screw over, your insurance, and their job is just to not pay out. I mean, that's their job. If you're an insurance adjuster, you got to save 40%.
You don't get bonuses for paying claims.
You don't get paid for paying out money. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yep.
Your job is to save 40%.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Problems came up. That's when News 5 Investigates learned Statewide Restoration put a $55,000 plus mechanics lien on the house.
They say they put the
that's
lien
the actual
because
document?
you didn't pay them.
Okay.
Correct.
But they hadn't completed the work either.
Right.
When I reached
so when
out
they
to
completed the
Statewide,
work,
the company came to an agreement.
Then the last bit would come in.
Out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another like 20,000
that he would pay
laying around.
I would like to get resolution. We are willing to. Is this from Statewide? We are willing to schedule out the remaining items with a partial payment of 20%.
So yeah, I'm not under NDA.
20
everything was done, and then he came up with more and more things that were broken. And a couple of things definitely were on hold because of weather. Stucco. Things that had to deal with the stucco. Because if you slap it on in the dead of winter, December, January, it will fall off by the time you get to the spring. It
doesn't like being frozen.
It will not. It will not adhere.
Yeah.
So, and then those. It's funny because those things were on the books to get done and got done after this aired because the contractors got a hold of me. But it was all done. It was on the books, and it was one of those things where it was of the remaining due, at the end, we'll just close this out. You got to pay us what you owe us, and then we'll just get out of your hair.
Right. Yeah.
And you can keep that last fat check that's coming to you for the 9, because you got to finish it yourself. So if you do that, Trevor, would have to pull the final inspection, the final mortgage inspection, clear out the final permits with the subcontractors, like your electrician. By the way, blow-in insulation, it's not a permittable item. You stupid fuck. It's not a permittable item. You can't get PPRBD to come in and inspect your blow-in insulation. Anybody can do it. Anybody can rent the machine. It's not structural. It's not under permit. You don't have to pull a permit to do it.
Okay.
Your framing inside wall, framing and insulation for the walls, yes. Permittable item. Blow-in insulation, no, because that's got to get done every couple of years, and you got to do it yourself. Just saying, there's no permit for that. You don't have to pull it. You don't have to close it out.
What about the guys that do? It's basically that good stuff. You know what I'm talking
spray
about?
and foam?
They just hook a hose up and then it's expanding foam.
Yep.
Yeah.
In your walls.
Yeah.
Yep. That has to be inspected.
All right.
Yes, it does.
So that's not a do-it-yourself and do whatever you
no,
want.
you gotta. I mean, you could.
Yeah, but a permit has to be pulled.
You gotta pull your permit. That's structural now.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Pay 20% of the remaining balance due to have the work finished. But to date, he says there are still outstanding issues.
Color.
I gave Statewide CEO Gary Liardon 3 opportunities to speak on camera starting on February 22nd. But each time we were ready to go, he canceled. One email said he wouldn't be there in time to meet, another citing a family emergency, a final email saying he's not available today. However, he did say the final items are scheduled and that the lien would be removed as a show of good faith. But so far, we have not seen a release of lien. In the meantime, the
because
Regional
the release of lien is dependent.
The final building inspection.
The release of lien is dependent on payment.
Even if he says we're going to release it in good faith.
Actually, what's funny is. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna lay this out there. If you look up PPRBD right now, there's no lien on that house. I know for a fact. So she's full of shit. She didn't do her.
They track that at
she didn't do her research.
Building permits.
It's public fucking domain. Like
no, but I'm saying at the building place, or is it with the court?
Well, the intent. Yeah, it's with court eventually, but
right.
Yeah, you got to file it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no lien. There's an intent. That's just
action has to be complete by April 9th, 180 days after the permit was issued.
Or you just get a new permit.
If they don't call in an inspection by that point, it will go what we call A status, administratively closed, and that will mean that they can no longer call in inspections unless
you pull
that
a new
is taken
permit.
care of. If they
what do you mean by taken care
of?
An
A status permit will actually not allow.
What do you mean is pay another $100 and reopen it?
Yeah.
For another 180 days.
Got to grease the screws again.
That's all you got to do. It's not that big a deal.
Renew their license, and then that would, of course, affect all permits. They would not be able to pull any permit on any project whatsoever.
We also learned in January the department temporarily suspended the company's license because Statewide Restoration's workers' compensation insurance was not updated. That meant they could not call in inspections during that time. That issue has been fixed, but Zimkus is still left wondering if his house will ever get done.
Not January.
It just got pushed off until you called.
That's bullshit. It was done before.
Things changed.
But it's not finished.
No, it's not.
We asked his insurance company if they could help, but they told us since he went out of network and choosing Statewide, there was nothing they could do.
So what does that even mean? It's not health insurance.
There's
out of network.
That's not how it works, you stupid bitch.
Look at this
network. Cum dumpster. She's so stupid. What? Out of network. It's not an HMO, you dumb hoe. It's not how it works. Insurance company doesn't give a fuck who you do. They don't care. They just want to see it done.
Yeah, and pass inspection, and
that's it. They don't care. I mean, there's a few people who care about their clients. They don't care who they use.
Yeah.
They just want it done. I love it when it's just like half true.
Yeah.
Just bullshit.
Before you sign an insurance check over to a contractor, the Better Business Bureau suggests you ask for 3 quotes from different businesses and research each company right away. Search the company's name online with the words complaint, review, or scam, and do not give final payment until all final inspections are done by your local building department. We are always willing to check out a company for you before you hand over money. Just send an email to news5investigates@koaa.com.
Here's what's funny. You know, here's the last thing. If you sign over your money to the general contractor and he doesn't pay his subs, those subs can also lien your house, even though everything's been paid, because they haven't been paid.
Right.
So you need to get, like, this is so wrong. She's so fucked up. 3 quotes. Who cares? Just go online, figure out Xactimate of what it's going to cost, because it's basically out there. You know, tile is $7 a square foot installed. LVP is $3.50 installed. It just is what it is. That's like the average for this this area, right? And it's pretty up to date. So just do that. But the thing you need to get is a lien release and a receipt from the general that all their subs have been paid.
Right.
Before you sign that over. Because if they're reputable, they will already have their bills paid before they get that final payment.
All right.
Just remember, it's all above my pay grade. I don't know what I'm talking about. I apparently am over my head. I'm out of my depth. And a few other colorful metaphors. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, moving on to...
We're going to go to the twatter.
Talking. Yeah. So, I don't know if you heard, Elon Musk is looking at buying Twitter.
Yeah. Well, you buy 9%, and then you go, all right, you guys got to do what I say. And they're like, no, you need to buy at least 15.
So hang on. It's a little more complex.
It's more nuanced than that. But
so he bought whatever it was, 9 point something. They offered him a seat on the board, but part of that was being contingent on him not buying any more than 15%.
Because then he owns Twitter.
No, not quite. 15%, no.
He's got a majority share.
Not at 15. You gotta own over 50.
As where it's all like split out between too many people.
No. You got to own over 50 to have a majority share.
51.
So he couldn't own more than 15% with the board seat. He took that initially, and then said, "Never mind, I don't want it." And then turned around and made an offer for like $49 billion to just buy the company outright. So the board, I forget the terminology for that type of offer. But the board gets to decide on that type of offer, and they decided to do what's called a poison pill. They made a special offer to current shareholders to buy up shares to try to devalue the stock, so that under their fiduciary responsibility to shareholders, a good offer is supposed to be accepted because it makes them all money. And his offer was a good offer.
Right.
So they wanted to bring the price of the stock down, the value of the stock, which way were they trying to go? Up. Yeah, up. So that his offer is like, oh, you're not offering it.
It's not offer good money, right?
Well, okay. So now he's trying to do, apparently, what they call a tender offer. He actually secured funding, so there's cash, and once he does that, it goes directly to shareholders and bypasses the board. The shareholders all get to vote, and if it passes, then it's sold. Why is this a nightmare? Well, he has been very vocal about Twitter's lack of respect for free speech. So apparently his plan is that if he owns Twitter, it's going to be a lot harder to suspend or ban anybody. According to him, quote, any human that can prove their identity will be verified.
So you don't have to have ID to vote?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to go through their nonsense of you have to have like a gazillion followers, and then he's like, no, the verification is just, are you who you say you are? Cool. Did you prove that with some kind of legal document? Awesome. You're verified. Blue check.
Nice.
So, Man Tools. Do we own Man Tools Media? And is this my driver's license? Yes. Awesome. Man Tools is verified.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Done. Yeah, we're good.
He wants to get rid of a lot of the spam bot nonsense that's on there.
Thank God.
There's a couple other things, some accounts that will probably come back. He's a big fan of the Babylon Bee. They got shit canned for saying something about trans stuff. I don't know. Women can't be men or something. He'll probably bring back the big debate is, are you going to bring Trump back? Are you going to bring Trump back? You going to let him come back? He hasn't outright answered that question, and I guess Trump made a statement. I'm not sure I would come back even if they let me. We'll see.
We'll see. Those were very entertaining.
They were, yeah. Well, what's more interesting is, so Trump is involved with that Truth Social, another platform. From what I understand, it's a huge wait list to get in there. And everyone that's been put on the wait list, their number has not gone down. So a lot of them are like, I signed up 3 months ago and I'm still number 20,000, and that's what I was the day I signed up. So what's the deal? And they're just kind of like, meh.
Whatevs.
And apparently, Trump himself is not posted on Truth Social yet. And it's his platform.
You know that kid? Remember that kid in grade school that was so mad that you got the orange Tonka truck, and then so he fucking snags it, and then he just sets it on the desk and doesn't play with it.
Yeah,
it's that guy.
Yep,
he's that guy.
I think Trump liked Twitter, and whatever Truth is obviously not quite Twitter, so he's like, I'm not interested. And apparently, it sounds like he may not even be interested in coming back to Twitter. So we'll see. It'll be interesting if Musk ends up owning Twitter, though.
I might actually start posting because, God, dude, I'm so afraid to just start shit on there because I don't need it, but I do. There's just some stupid shit that people say. And I'm like, dude, supposedly. That's how I know you're a fucking idiot.
They supposedly did this, yeah.
I mean, legitimate. That's how I know, that you did not care about.
Look, he literally pulled that insulation out
specifically for the purpose of showing the cameras,
and it clearly wasn't torn out during the demo.
No, it was just laying around there on his trash. So what they didn't show is the huge dumpster that's right behind the cameraman that was full of all the crap that got pulled out from the replacement.
Yep.
Yeah. Didn't show that.
Well, another interweb story. Something that no one's asked for.
Oh, what the fuck?
Apple has officially rolled out the pregnant man emoji.
He's not pregnant. He's just fat like me.
That's what I said. But because now men can get pregnant.
When?
Yep.
I want to know how.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't want to know how.
If you actually have a vagina and a uterus, but have taken
hormones,
testosterone, and call yourself Billy instead of Wilhelmina.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, it's for trans.
Oh.
The trans.
All right, well, good for them.
But, much like have you seen the ad campaign of, what did they call it? It was like all kinds of people get periods. And it shows all these.
I mean, I get bitchy right around a full moon.
The picture shows a bunch of dudes with bloody spots on their underwear.
No, that's not how it works.
It's like, no, everyone in that picture has a vagina. I don't
think
care
what
how much
you're doing
of a beard they have.
I think what you're degrading the reproductive cycle, and you're akinning it, and you're subjecting it strictly to the joke that I just made about hormones.
Yeah.
So you're belittling the miracle of life, and I don't mean to do the air quotes, but you're.
Well, it's like have you heard how a lot of places are calling mothers birthing persons now?
No, that's dumb.
It's like they're mothers.
They're moms.
Well, what if it's a man?
Then he's Mr. Mom.
It's like, but they're not a man.
I don't know. I still get confused on how to do everything right. So.
I don't know, man. And here's the other thing. Cool. That's your perception of yourself. This idea that the rest of the world needs to conform to your perception of yourself is bullshit. I don't have to use your pronouns. Just like that's expecting people to use your preferred pronouns is as ridiculous as expecting them to use your preferred adjectives.
Okay. Case in point. My grandma does not like to be called ma'am. I will not do it. She said, look, don't do that. So,
well, my preferred adjectives.
I love, and I'm in that circle, obviously, with her. Well, Gabe doesn't like to be called Gabby, or Gabe doesn't like to be called Gabe. She prefers to be called Gabby, and I will call her she because we're in the circle together. And I make her call me, big fat handsome stud, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm fucking around,
Well, as it was put very eloquently by someone a little smarter and sharper than me, if you get your preferred pronouns, that means I get my preferred adjectives, and they are strong and beefy. So every time you refer to me, if you're not describing me as strong and beefy,
Trevor. Yeah. Then I'm offended.
Also, if you're one person, you're not a they.
You're not a they. That.
If you want to be genderless, you're an it. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you.
You're not more than one.
I'm surprised Keys hasn't weighed in on this. Called us a bunch of stupid assholes.
Well,
you're out there in Sacramento. You're in the hotbed of the crazy,
the wokeness,
the wokedness.
All right. Well, let's get into some cool stuff. We haven't done cool stuff in a while, and we've got a few cool stuff things. So, or cool things for stuff. You know what I meant. Yes, Keys, we continue to beat the dead horse.
At this point, we're just dragging it up the hill we want to die on. That's what we're doing.
This is fucking awesome. Check this out. You've seen, of course, everyone's familiar with Snoopy. And you know when he does his Red Baron fantasy?
Oh, yes.
And flies around? Well, that fantasy has come true.
Nice.
So for the benefit of our audio listeners, this is some kind of remote controlled flying contraption that looks like Snoopy on his red doghouse flying around.
That's so fun. Yeah, he's getting after it too.
That's cool. All right, that's enough copyrighted music.
Copyright strike.
This is very cool.
If this works, okay.
The way they say it does.
Two things. Why are you caulking tile? You should be grouting it. Maybe it's different rules, but if this works, I want one.
Okay.
I want one so much.
Well, let's check it out.
Because that's, normally what I'm doing. I don't know why they're caulking it in.
I don't either.
Interesting, though.
Or is it grout?
Or is it grout? Is it really
Maybe
fine?
it's grout and they're I think they may not be English speakers. It may be a...
Dude, over in China, I've watched all of those fucking tile videos from those Chinese dudes, workers. Like, those guys are goddamn masters.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, how is he gonna cut? And then he cuts it. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, man.
All right, and then last cool stuff thing, cool thing stuff.
We have cool stuff things.
The Army's looking at some new rifles, and this is they're moving towards some new rifles. Anyways, let's check this out. Sig Sauer.
I think the Army's Next Gen program is the most audacious effort in decades.
Did you say bodacious?
The ability to participate in writing
German
history.
and
whatever happens now
I think he was saying
will dictate
audacious,
the next 20, 30, 40 years. It gives us purpose. It gives us our north. It will change how we look at life afterwards. I'm so impressed with the Army personnel. They're pushing us hard, and that's one side of the equation. The other side, they get it. They're letting us have access to the soldier, to the Marine. It's a transparent program. We are learning from each other, which brings tremendous value as we go forward. This was a wholesale change of ammunition, a rifle.
Yeah, they're changing from 5.56 to a 6.8 millimeter. So they're kind of splitting the difference between 7.62 and 5.56, which is interesting. I don't know. I'm curious if NATO will follow suit because the 5.56 is called 5.56 NATO. and a bunch of countries use it. Mostly because we provide them their ammunition, but
gun. We are the only company that makes ammunition and the weapon. So we were able to harness the engineers on the weapon side with the engineers on the ammunition side. We could sit together in one room. We could go to a testing facility and have a ballistic engineer and a rifle engineer sitting together and tweaking the formula in order to make sure it works.
Yeah.
The other thing I've noticed is it appears that the new rifle is no longer a 3-round burst, but they've gone back to an automatic, which is interesting. I'll be curious if that sticks as they roll it out to soldiers in the field, because the big argument for the 3-round burst was that soldiers in Vietnam would just empty magazines and not realize they've emptied the magazine and try to keep shooting. And that the 3-round burst forced you to notice, oh, this time I pulled the trigger and nothing happened, as opposed to just holding it down and
problems that nobody can in a short time span. I would say that what we tried to do is to stay true to the fact that ultimately somebody has to carry these guns, somebody has to make it, and it has to bring a significant change to warfare. It has to be lighter. You have to get the range, you have to get the terminal ballistic, the terminal performance. SIG thought of all of these issues from the eyes of a soldier, and we're happy that the Army has the same exact view.
So yeah, from what I understand, where they say that bimetal hybrid case, I think some of it's actually like a composite or plastic, so it's way lighter than a total brass cartridge. So all around they're reducing the weight, not just in the rifle, but also in the ammunition that you're carrying. So that's
the questions
that's awesome.
Everybody's asking. Can SIG handle it? Are we ready? Can we handle the timeline? Can we handle the enormity of the effort? So I would say we are the picture of readiness. We are the singular small arms company in this competition. We make small arms every day. None of the others do on a regular basis. SIG has the
I don't know what he means by that. I don't know who else was involved, but if it was
resources, the asset base, the commitment to do this.
Typical like Remingtons and Colts and stuff they make.
Programs of this nature
they don't make
do not happen twice in a lifetime.
The rifles.
And for most people, it doesn't even happen.
Sure, they do.
Not on this scale.
Is a small arms.
I think that's what he's talking about, is the scale of it all.
Well, maybe.
If we win this changes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How we define ourselves as a company.
Take it right out of the.
Look at that. That suppressor is just nearly white hot.
The whole company
Holy shit.
Would pull every stop to make this a success for the soldiers. Ultimately, that's the biggest reward, to see that the soldiers are happy that we've transformed the battlefield.
Well, there you go. I think that's pretty cool.
That was pretty awesome, actually.
I think it's interesting how they're that's always tricky, like changing calibers, and because that means your old ammunition now is obsolete. The one thing I wish, though, is as they transition to this, is that they back in the day used to be able to get military surplus weapons and ammunition through the civilian marksmanship program. And then I'm pretty sure it was under the Obama administration they shit canned that. So now they recycle everything.
Yeah, they tear them up.
It doesn't get released to the public. They'll give it to cops.
Well, and they
a small amount, but
yeah,
most of it just gets recycled.
What was that? What was that shitty guitar that got recycled? I think it was the Gibson. Fucking recycled a bunch of guitars that just failed. They had a warehouse full of them. They were ugly. They looked like old Cadillacs.
and somehow giving them away wouldn't have been.
They just trashed them. I'm like, that's dumb.
Yeah. Anyways, well,
couldn't give them away.
Yeah, that rifle and the belt-fed machine gun look pretty awesome. So cool. And it sounds like that 6.8 is kind of the perfect in between from the 7.62 and the 5.56.
I thought the 5.56 NATO had a different grain than what we get like from the store.
I don't know about that. I don't know, to be honest.
I don't either. I gotta remember. I heard. I'm not up on it.
I know the military stuff goes through much more exhaustive inspections and stuff, quality control.
Sure.
Because you really don't want a rifle jamming up in combat. If you can help that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, let's hit the week in his story. Well, actually, let's do our let's pay some bills.
Oh, mid-roll.
I forgot about that. Can't forget to pay the bills.
Can't forget to pay the bills. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
That's right.
Over here, my brakes made an awful noise, and the last time I got them done, it was so expensive.
You should go to EXO Auto Works. They did a great job on mine, and it was way cheaper than anywhere else I've been.
That sounds great. I need to get their number from you.
At EXO Auto Works, we offer the best price on brake service in town. We include brand new brake pads, rotors, and hardware, which saves you money and gets you on the road faster. See our website for a full list of our services. Call EXO Auto Works today.
Stop destroying your beard. Let me explain. A little while back, I thought I was properly taking care of my beard. Turns out, I was destroying it. Dry, brittle, hair falling out. My girlfriend hated it.
He was worse than a dog without the cute puppy breath.
So then, she ordered the Beard Struggle. Game changer. Natural ingredients, awesome packaging, and it smells phenomenal.
You smell sexy.
Thank you. Oils, balms, they have beard growth accelerators in addition to the new Carbon X 3-in-1 heated beard brush straightener and volumizer, along with washes and conditioners. Stop destroying your beard. Order the Beard Struggle.
I have something you can destroy.
Order online now at thebeardstruggle.com. Use the code TLANE15 for 15% off your order.
Comes to his end in the gutter, spinning right through the wheel.
The first on the flank, get it started, get fired at his flank.
Snoopy was hunting.
That's right. Coming off of our Snoopy thing. Yeah, this week in his story, April 21st, 1918, the German fighter ace known as the Red Baron, Baron von Richthofen, is shot down and killed. And throughout World War I, he was a menace to American, British, and French
He was a
Air
badass.
Forces.
Dude was just good.
Yeah. Let's see. April 22nd, 19. Nope. There we go. 1954. The Senate Army McCarthy hearings begin. Of course, this is the start of the big commies are everywhere nonsense led up by McCarthy. But he was also right.
The Red Horde is coming for you.
Like, I'm not saying it should be illegal to be a commie or anything, but he wasn't wrong that they were everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I think if he walked in and saw the squad, he would just lose his shit. You know, talk about some.
My whole thing was to keep
the
people
Red
like
Horde,
them out of here.
The Red Horde.
You're electing them. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Let's see. April 24th, 1981, the IBM personal computer is introduced.
Yep.
And this is the reason, if you're as old as us, You'll remember when computers were labeled as IBM compatible.
Yep, IBM compatible.
Which meant they ran on, actually the original Microsoft stuff was to make things IBM compatible.
Yep.
DOS, early Windows.
So fun fact, who was the first person in public person to own, technically, to own a PC?
I don't know.
So it was a year before this. I'll give you another hint. This will be a weird hint, but
that's no. I have no idea.
It was Julian Lennon.
Okay.
Yoko Ono had asked the head of the fucking Jobs to go over and talk to him.
Okay.
And they went over for the kid's birthday and gave him a computer.
All right.
And showed him and John all this stuff, right? Yeah.
Cool.
Cool story. So that's where Yoko Ono comes into play.
I got you.
Number three. Avant-garde rock for you.
Let's see. April 25th, 1859. Work begins on the Suez Canal in Egypt, which connects the Nile River to the Mediterranean Sea, so making shipping of goods and such much easier.
Oh,
not
but
quite as a big deal as
ancient
the Panama
aliens.
Canal.
Ancient aliens had to have helped them because we're stupid humans.
Well,
and it's in Egypt.
Everything built in Egypt. Was
Everything
aliens,
built
right?
in Egypt is just ancient aliens. It's aliens.
Let's see, April 26th, 1986, the world's worst nuclear disaster occurs at the Chernobyl power plant in, oddly enough, Ukraine, which was then part of the Soviet Union. Yep.
Fun days.
Yeah. A lot of, if you've ever watched that HBO series, they do a pretty good job of like, because of all the politics, like just exacerbated everything to do with responding to this and made it all worse. Well, we can't tell anybody. It's like, at some point you have to tell somebody this is happening.
It's 3 miles downwind. It's going to get pretty ugly here in a minute.
Like they got to the point, I guess we have some kind of like atomic sensing technology even back then, and we were like, hey, you guys okay?
You guys all right over there?
Like, everything fine.
Everything, don't worry, everything good. Send us the quarter pounder.
So let's see, and then finally April 27th, 1989, protesting students took over Tiananmen Square in Beijing, China.
Not often the picture that you associate with this, so good job.
No.
Yeah, good job.
I think it was a few days later that the event that most people think of happened, but this was leading up to that.
That's cool. I like that you show the different side, not just the...
Yeah,
that was cool.
And if you go to China now, there are no plaques or anything because they just pretend like it never happened.
I was gonna say there's no tank with a dude.
No, there's nothing. There's not even like we crushed some kind of uprising. None of that. It's just like, this never happened. No, what are you talking about? Nothing happened here. Everything's been fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's been fine since the dawn of time.
That's right. But that brings us to the end of the week in history and the end of our show, unfortunately.
Well, that's all right. We have our sad music. Just want to let everyone know that Saturday, April 30th at 8 p.m. Facing Forward will be at Murray Street Darts. Yes, that's right. Murray Street Darts is having music again.
That's cool.
They don't have a stage. They don't have a sound system. But they're going to have music again.
Okay, well.
Shouldn't have torn down that stage I built. Maybe. For our members only, tomorrow, get our Samson. I can't read it.
Giga Chad turned simp.
Giga Chad turned simp video. And learn why we're not doing the Ukraine deep dive.
That's right.
There's a reason.
It will be explained.
We touched a little bit on it with Chernobyl tonight. But as we walk away in our slow motion hitchhiking backpacking song, we'd like to thank our sponsors, EXO AutoWorks, Enharmonic Studios, Crafts by Carolyn Lane, and The Beard Struggle. Thank you for watching and or listening. Please check us out on the web at mantoolsmedia.com. Social media is at thelinks.co/mantoolsmedia. And once again, like, subscribe, share, rate, and review on ratethispodcast.com/mantools.
And we will see you guys next week. So, good night, everybody.